Semper Fi, Marines. Semper Fi. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here today as a candidate. I'm here today as a survivor and a victim, just like all of you. But more importantly, I'm here as an American. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to look around. Look around, take a moment and acknowledge yourself. There were people at the airport. My family and I flew in today from North Carolina. There were people who flew in from London, England. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've traveled to get here today, would you raise your hand? We can acknowledge you. Look around, folks. And while we're at it, if you're a veteran, if you served this country in the armed forces or in a uniform of the firefighters, or police department, emergency responders, would you please raise your hand so we can acknowledge you? Folks, I'm just here to very quickly tell you a little 9/11 story, and then I'm going to tell you my opinion about this mosque. My 9/11 story started about 20 years ago. I was a Marine sniper in Israel. The first Gulf War was over. And some Israeli soldiers said to me, "Why are you thousands of miles away from your home?" This was in 1992. And I was a 22-year-old young Marine and cocky. And I said, "Well, I'm here fighting in your backyard, so we don't have to be fighting in our backyard." Ladies and gentlemen, when I would be going to work just up Fifth Avenue one morning, watching the buildings burn, wondering why the fire engines were screaming down Fifth Avenue. All the avenues. All the avenues. Like all of you, I knew that our world had changed forever. And 10 years after I had been a Marine in the First War, I showed up at my doorstep, and my poor wife, who's here today listening, saw that I had shaved my head and I was going back into the Marines a second time to fight for America. Ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't alone. There were millions of men and women just like us who in some form or fashion took up arms, took up the flag, did what they could, where they could, whether they volunteered here, whether they volunteered overseas, whether they prayed or they fought. America was united. And I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if any of you can see this, but this is an aerial photo of Ground Zero, and some of the men in my unit made this for me. And I carried it next to my heart, inside my flak jacket, when I was in Iraq. And ladies and gentlemen, the message here, what's important here, is the words on the top. Say, never forget. Never forget. Never forget. Let's fast forward to today. I'm in North Carolina, made that my home. I love the values. They love God, they love America. We fight for what we believe in. And I had a news reporter ask me, "Why do you care about a mosque in Ground Zero? You're down in North Carolina." I said, "Brother, on September 11th, it wasn't New York City that was attacked. It was America that was attacked. It was freedom that was attacked." And we can't forget not only what happened, not only the murderous intent that killed 3,000 Americans, we can't forget for a moment that they wanted to kill 50,000 Americans, or maybe 100,000 Americans. So we can't ever forget that murderous intent. And you know what else we can't forget? Because we have, folks. We've forgotten. 9 years later, we've gotten complacent and we've forgotten. But since those attacks, hundreds of thousands of men and women around the world have been killed by jihadists in the name of radical Islam. Hundreds of thousands of men and women around the world. From Egypt Bali, from Baghdad to Kabul. No one can forget there was a car bomb here in Times Square just months ago. Folks, if you think this is over, it's just beginning. It's just beginning. So now we get to the next part. So what's my opinion about a mosque at Ground Zero? No mosque here. No mosque here. No mosque here. I've heard some of the folks in the media on the left, and they're so smart and they're so smug. Well, it's not even at Ground Zero. Ladies and gentlemen, look around. Look around. If you were standing on the roof of the building, you would have been killed by a piece of landing gear off of an aircraft that was piloted by terrorists who had just slit the throats of unarmed stewardesses and pilots. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ground Zero. So let's take a moment to look at the person that wants to bring it here. Does anyone find it's interesting that he's also involved in the Free Gaza Flotilla movement and had a made-for-TV action with Israel just as all of this is developing? But there was something else that happened. Because I want to stretch your imagination for a second. But every time Iran is about to face a nuclear sanction from the EU or the UN, what happens?
I don't know.
Something flares up with Israel. I wonder how that happens. I wonder in 2006, when Iran was about to face nuclear sanctions for their nuclear weapons program. Yes, folks, we want to give radical extremist nuclear weapons. It's unconscionable to me. But remember back to 2006, a fight in Lebanon with the Israelis. Who provoked that? Iran. Iran. Think back to 2008. Again, Iran about to face sanctions. Who provoked attacks from Gaza, missile attacks into Israel? Iran. And radical Islam.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2010, as Iran faced its toughest rounds of sanction, we had this made-for-TV episode when Israel rightfully trying to protect itself by maintaining a blockade to make sure murderous rockets don't kill its innocent citizens. Where did that come from? Imam Rauf is a member of the organization that has been behind all of that. We know where the money for this mosque is coming from. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close with some words from a president that we know and love. His name is Ronald Reagan. He talked about a time when America would have a rendezvous with destiny. It's happening right here at Ground Zero. We've had one here before. We're having it again. It's up to you. Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to you. And you know that Mayor Rudy Giuliani made an excellent point recently. And he said, if this mosque is really about building bridges and these folks are about healing, then they're going to hear this message and they're going to move. They're going to move the right thing and they're going to move.
Build it under the river.
But if they're warriors, they're going to dig in and they're going to stay. Well, you know what? We have warriors too.
You may remember a few years back, Mahmoud